Give us an MMA story. MMA, please.
Okay, well, I mean, to be fair, I've been, a little out of the loop as far as what you guys haven't covered. But I think the biggest news that came out over the weekend was the fact that Garry is going to be out of that fight with Joaquin Buckley. Instead, will be fighting a co-main event at UFC 310 against Shavkat Rakhmonov. In his place, Colby Covington will be fighting Joaquin Buckley at UFC Tampa.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Harrington. I got to say this. You can say whatever people want to say because Garry's been the victim of a lot of, call it online bullying, call it abuse, and a lot of it's kind of, some of it's been warranted and he's kind of asked for it and he's kind of been an easy target at times. But you got to respect this man here, right? He has backed it up every single step of the way. He's won every single one of his fights. He's undefeated. He's very good. He's talented. He's methodical. He uses his brain. Right, that fight against Jeff Neal, the crowd was booing, but he stuck to a game plan, and it was effective. And now here he is. He's asked to switch up from Joaquin Buckley to take on Shavkat, who's 18-0, 18 finishes, and the man says yes. If that doesn't get your respect, I don't know what does. So for that, I'll say fair play to Garry.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I thought, here you go. You picked your time. This is definitely a time to just bite down, step up, move up into the bigger spot, fight potentially the more dangerous guy, and line yourself up. You go and get that win. You're fighting Belal. You're next in line. You go and beat Shavkat. There's no doubt in my mind. 100% you are lined up. You are next in line for that title shot. It's worth taking the risk. It's worth at this point in your career, undefeated, right?
Yep.
Ian?
15-0 versus 18-0.
Yeah, so it's perfect. I mean, what a title eliminator to go in there and be a co-main event. Is it 5-round co-main event?
I think it is as well.
It's got to be. It's got to be. I love that they're doing that for these big fights like this too. I think having these co-main events be 5 rounds, especially when it comes down to seeing who's going to be next for the title shot. I love that the UFC is doing that now. And hey, Colby Covington took a fight. We've been waiting. Oh, who's he going to fight? What's going to happen? But Colby fighting Joaquin. I love that fight.
Yeah, me too. I tell you what, it's not an easy fight for Colby.
No.
Colby's getting older. He's kind of, slipped a little bit here and there. Joaquin Buckley is a monster. Super explosive, ridiculously fast. He's wrestling everybody with power doubles these days and launching them through the air. He's going to talk a lot of shit as well, and so's Colby. And I'm going to be there in Tampa calling that one. Are you working that?
It's you and me.
Let's go, Paul.
I know. That's what I was saying. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh, I'm calling that one. That's going to be easy. That's an easy main event to get geared up for. They're going to be at each other's throat the whole time, talking all kinds of trash. And again, another huge fight. Colby goes and beats the surging Joaquin Buckley, puts himself right back into the picture. And same thing for Joaquin. He gets to take on somebody that's fought for the belt, twice, 2 or 3 times. And if he goes in there and wins that, let's say that Shavkat and Ian fight for some reason is a dud. I don't imagine how it could be. But there's a chance where you're either jumping the line or you put yourself in for another. Then you're the title eliminator after that. So, or you could sit and wait potentially if the UFC wants to shake it out like that, how quickly they pair up the winner of Ian, Machado, Garry, and Shavkat. So the welterweight division, boom, the wheels just got turning and things just got put right back into motion. It looked like, oh man, Belal dealing with that staph and that infection. He's out. What's going to happen now? Credit to them too for really getting these guys lined up, figured out, and now we've got this little mini tournament going on in the welterweight division. It's exciting times for that.
Could you imagine like the shitstorm it would be if for some reason Colby Covington, because the pressure's on, let's be honest. Colby's an entertainer. He's had a good career, but he's under a lot of pressure here. If he's going to ever get that belt, he's got to beat Joaquin Buckley.
Got to win.
Let's say he shows up. He does it in ridiculous fashion. He smashes you. He has the audience eating out the palm of his hand. He cuts the promos, like a WWE, like Michael Chandler at his finest. Yeah. He's Ric Flairing everybody to death, and everyone's like, we love Colby again. And then he gets to go against Belal Muhammad. Belal versus Colby. the war of words.
Oh, man.
And the shit that will get said by Colby Covington. Oh, my God. I almost want to see it for that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It in a lot of ways, that's the more interesting matchup. And that's for sure the one Belal would love to have if he can fight Colby. He's been talking trash on him. He's been saying he sucks for as long as I can remember, since he was even anywhere near being in the title picture. He's been calling for that fight and talking trash on him. So that sells itself. Finally, now Belal gets put in a position where a really sellable big time fight for his welterweight belt. And I know that's exactly what he wants, right? He wants nothing more than that. Belal's always chirping. He's always trying to get things engaged. But now that fight makes a lot of sense. And obviously, though, if Shavkat wins and looks good doing it, not as interesting because Shavkat's not necessarily the showman that Colby is. But as far as, giving that undefeated fighter a shot at the belt, it's all win-win for the welterweight division right now.
Yeah. I was just about to say, let's be honest, we can romance it all we want, but more than likely, 9 times out of 10, and with respect to Ian Garry, Shavkat's incredible. Ian Garry will be a test. He will come up with a game plan, a strategy, whatever you want to call it. But 5 rounds, Shavkat always finds a way. More than likely, Shavkat's going to get a finish at some point in that fight. He'll use the wrestling. He'll take him down. He'll get a submission, and he will be fighting Belal Muhammad early next year. More than likely.
Yeah. More than likely, yeah. But hey, I mean, I like that Garry is willing to take that risk because he knows, go big or go home. If I want to get a shot at that belt, it's right now. It's one fight. I'm one fight away. And what a better story for him than if he goes and takes that from Shavkat, somebody that's finished absolutely everybody. God forbid he goes out there and he finishes him.
Well, and this is a way, not only for his career, but like the public perception, because this whole, the cook thing and with his wife and stuff, it's personal stuff about his wife, and a lot of fans overstep the mark completely, and it's very personal, nasty stuff. This would be a way for redemption for Ian Garry, because as I say, you have to respect this man taking on Shavkat at short notice. If he goes out there and he beats him and he handles it the right way, it could be a complete turnabout. It could be everyone all of a sudden saying, you know what, he's only a young kid. He's a really talented fighter. He just took on Shavkat. He beat him on short notice. He's going to fight for the belt, and just play it right. Choose the words carefully. The problem is that when you're as young as Ian, you say the first thing that comes out of your mouth. I'm 45 and I'm still doing it. I just told a story I wish I never said 20 minutes ago. Do you know what I mean? But that's why you tune into the podcast to hear utter bullshit. But I'm telling you, this is like the arc of Ian Garry. If he plays this right, he could win some fans back here.
Oh, no doubt about it. That's what I mean. It's the time, with where your fan reputation is. And now you go and do that. You take on the guy, the boogeyman of the division that nobody wants to fight. Hell yeah. I mean, once I heard that, that's immediately what I thought. I was like, all right, man.
Yeah.
Way to go. Way to sack up, for lack of better words, way to really step in there against the scariest guy in the division right now and line yourself up.
Yeah. And again, it goes back to the John Jones thing at the beginning, right? We're now sitting here going, wow, round of applause for Ian Garry. And then on the flip side saying, that's why we're scratching our head with John Jones. But I do think it's just him sitting at home, playing everybody, pulling the strings, manipulating everyone, having a field day, and just generating millions.
Yeah.